Yes, man, it's been fun. It's been going off crazy. Even from my reggae boys here, Dion Burton, Marcus Gale, Frank Sinclair. Trust me, friends back home in the US, Canada, all over. Trust me, it's quite a shame and it's very, very sad. Same old SHI, that different generation. I've got a list of comments here if you want me. I don't need to call any names, but as you know it, still thief in the players, using players for their personal gain. That's one of the comments from a former player. Another former player, same SHI, dash, different generation, could same for most things in society. What a disgrace, sadly, in the norm in most of the federations. How did, how we get this resolved? Basically, it's really sad and very disappointing. Absolutely proud of the young man. I know his father very well. I know Damien a bit. Obviously, he's a old Camperdown student, which myself went to Camperdown as well. So I'm very proud of the young man. He's very smart, as you can see and hear from the recording. Spoke very well. He's obviously clued up and have the knowledge of what's going on and the fine details of how international football works, payments, finances, etc. The fine line in the details, he knows quite a bit about it, and he's used it very well. And most of all, what kind of impressed me is that the team actually appoint him as the to talk on their behalf, and he stood by them and they stood with each other. And that's what we didn't have during my time. Players, Ricardo Gardner, Claude Davis, Dion Burney, during our time after obviously qualifying for World Cup '98, we didn't stuck together as one voice trying to achieve one goal, which is pay the players what they really deserve, because we're the ones who going out there who when we win games everybody say yes, but when we lose games or we miss a chance, our emotions are shattered, our feelings are very hurt in terms of as a player. And so I'm very proud of the young man for how he stood by his group and how he delivered. And he was smart enough to record the situation, because if he didn't, we wouldn't have known. I mean, we knew persons in the team knew that this was going on for a very long time, for decades actually. And to see that he has smart enough recorded it so that the world could see it and hear for themselves what's been going on in the federation, which is, as I say, it's so sad and it's very, very disappointing. Well, first and foremost, it's because most of the players back home, birth, right, in terms of born in Jamaica. Players like myself was born in Jamaica. For myself, Gardner, we have gone abroad to get the experience, and we know the fine details of how negotiations work, how, being together as a team, how the one voice works. A lot of the players back home, these guys from the federation, especially the guys like, obviously, Michael Wickets, as you can hear, Bruce Gain and Dalton Winton, the next guy, what's his name? Rice Timpson or whatever. They live in it. They don't have the international experience, so they're trying to use their knowledge of their little soft touches of what they use in the ghettos for ghetto players, because we all know the honesty of professional football players. Most of the players are 90% of the players, 95% of the players comes from a ghetto area all across the world. Some of the greatest players are coming from destitute situation. Diego Maradona, as we know it, Pele, as we know it, Ronaldo, Messi. So they try to use this kind of soft-hearted touch against the ghetto youths, if we want to call it that, to kind of get on their hearts and try to say, okay, let's play for the World Cup, because we love football. We know that. We love it. And they try to overtime. One particular story I remember, I don't know if you remember, when Samuel Eto'o, you remember the situation when the Cameroon team, Samuel Eto'o, galvanized the team together as the man is doing now. And they basically pretend that they're going to play this game and board in the flight. And when they reach the plane door to go in the plane, all the players, unified as one, turn back and told the Cameroonian FA that they're not boarding that plane unless they pay up everything that they're due and what they're supposed to get for this game.
Yes.
And that they had to find the money to play it, because that game would not go ahead, and the money that they have received for that game, they would have to return it. So they have to pay the players what they deserve. You see, those kind of things is what's needed in Jamaica football. Yeah, we don't have the history so much of a Brazil, obviously not, of a Cameroon, we are a third world nation. We have, corporate Jamaica tried to pull together. 98, we qualified. Why we qualified? Because we had a great leadership. We had the brains behind it. Was René Simões. He's come from Brazil. He knows how it works. he actually give Boyd, let Boyd, told Boyd about certain things that he needed to do in order to get the players comfortable, so that players have to worry about what they have to do when they go on the football. People just focus on performance and delivering a good performance of trying to win the game or not lose a football match. Imagine a player going on a football field and a player has to worry about, me have to pay a light bill for 20,000. Me have to find a grocery bill for 20,000. Me have to find a water bill for 5,000, whatever. You know, where that money is going to come from? These players have to perform on the field and to give utmost best. Come on. Football is played with the mind 60-70%. Absolute. As I said, it is so sad, it is such a shame, and it's disgraceful. Do you know that 2 decades ago, just over 20 years ago, we were getting 2,000 to 3,000 just for appearance money. US dollar, understand? And we're talking about 2020 now. In this pandemic time we're living in, the players have to travel, will be traveling from wherever they come from. Holland, as you know, with the Moravel Morrison situation, all over the country. I mean, Liam Bailey, Germany, lengths they have to travel, miles and miles, thousands of miles. And you want to tell me that after you already underpaying the players, right? And the players ask for a little bump in the times we're living in, the distance they're traveling in. And by the way, did you know that most of the players travel economy? Having my situation was already all the way from Holland, his team, flight after flight, connection, walking through terminals, getting on a plane, and you know where he was sitting? In economy. I know where 4 of the delegations were sitting? Business class. You tell me now, guys, is that right? Are they the ones going out on the football field to play the football match? And two games at that? Yeah. So you see, from 2 decades ago, 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, we were getting 2,000 to 3,000 just for appearance for just regular games, right? US dollars, that is. And you mean to tell me that these guys now playing these games, risking their lives, risking their health and safety, right, to go and play a game, 2 games in Saudi Arabia, and they're asking for a little bit of something which they already been underpaid. You tell me if that's fair enough. Absolutely, absolutely. I think the inability for these guys in charge of the federation now, no disrespect, Michael Ricketts, Dalton Went, Bruce Gaynor, and the Rice Simpson guy. Personally, it's for them to have the inability to attract corporate Jamaica or sponsorship for the national program. Doesn't that says a lot? Of being a federation leader, the president, the general secretary, the manager, whatever, is working together. Those 4 guys should have been concentrating and working together in trying to find ways and being creative to attract sponsorships for the national program team, which you know is all vital in terms of this year for the World Cup qualifiers. Yep. And they have said it themselves that they have no sponsorships. So what does that say? Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Captain Burley had a few sponsorships at the time, and we had, during his tenure, we had monies that were probably he would have put away or he would have saved, and from the World Cup qualifier 98, you know, the country earned a lot of money. We all know that wasn't a secret. You know, he seems to be a good businessman, so maybe, as he was always saying, that he kept borrowing money from his Captain Bakery, found businesses to put into the national program, which we all know that is, we don't, you know, I don't want to say, but we know this whole situation. The corruption is rife, and that is what I'm saying. But at least then we had sponsorship, because his ability with other coaches that he has brought in, the Rennie Simoes, with their mind space and how they know football works, corporate Jamaica, the sponsorships. Remember, we had Burger King sponsoring, I think Andy Williams, we had KC sponsoring another player. We had Quick Cash sponsoring Theodore Whitmore from Cayman. The ability of a president is supposed to get find ways of creating or attracting sponsorship, and that sponsorship will be able to give players or find the part of the player wages or money the player receive for appearances comes from that. None. And they say the federation is broke. Where all the money has gone? Past foreign coach has done that, because I said their experience and their knowledge of the game and how it works in their country makes it easier for them to use their experience and attract how it work, how football work in general. Because football is not only just on the field, you know.
Yeah.
Football is off the field as well. You need sponsorships. You need billboards that go around the stands that says, Tasty. We know we get money from Tasty. We know we get money from Starbucks.
Yes.
And these kind of things is ways of creating that. But these guys have no knowledge of doing that. So how can they attract sponsorships? And that is what these overseas coaches do. Like the Rene Simoes come, he had all of these things in place. And why he does that is because when he asks a player or the players for a performance, 9 out of 10 times he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Because the players know them. They have nothing to worry about. It's professional level. The federation now, the guys know they're not professional. We all see that in the recording. They're not professional. Not even enough. I wouldn't even put on the enough on it. They're not even professional, period. And first and foremost, why would they not even want an email, which is the norm, to be sent by the guys and to communicate? They don't want paper trail. And if people don't want paper trail, what does that tell you guys? Well, first and foremost, we have to take it for this game, particular game, because if it wasn't for this recording and about this game, we wouldn't have arrived at this point. They get paid for this game. They're not hosting the game. So if they're not hosting the game, that means all the expenses are covered, right? The figures which the boys are asking for, or the payment which the boys are asking for, is the least that they deserve, especially in this time, since the fact that they weren't even traveling business class just because they needed the room to make sure their legs are all right. Because if they want to win both games, are go to the game on full pelt so that they can give a great performance to win a game. Away games are difficult. We all know that, right? So this game, they got the monies for this game. Spread it out according to other areas of the federation. Of course, it would be a set. As I said, don't forget how much they got for that game. You remember? I think Demelo was saying about 500,000. How much? Regardless, even if they had paid each player 2,000 for each game, it's 22 players travel, right? You tell me, say 88,000 or something like that would have hurt the federation from playing other bills. And remember, now, these things have been going on for decades. They arrive at this point now, and this anger and this frustration from the players, and the recording has to be made to basically bring this to light. It's because of the frustration over the years. Players go and lose that game. Remember, the players lost the first game.
Yes.
I remember the comments that a lot of people were saying, "Oh, they're not good enough. Oh, they're not ready. They're not qualified." Who face it? We qualified for the semi-final for the Gold Cup. I don't remember which period it was. We never even received our qualification, the advance money that we qualification, we get the bonus.
Yes.
We never even received it. We never even received that money. And the chef had died, and we just tell them because the chef apparently was lacking money to be buried.
Yes.
Sammy, a chef, owned by a car or truck somewhere in Centre or something like that. And we gave up that money because we knew that they weren't giving it to us, and we had to make it public that we sending the money to Mr. Samuel, to Sammy's family. And for his burial, something like $10,000, $10,000 US each, we gave up for that. And these things are never been highlighted, and these things have been kept quiet because the federation would have took that money. These are the frustration that we have been for years with the federation. That's why we are right at this point. We like this money to be paid and to help the balance, the remainder of the money to spread out for wages, which we all know that it's happening here in England, all around the world, even regular company outside football. We know these things have to be, these things is a must. But remember the player taking a risk. They carried back a virus, give one of their families. Thank God that wasn't the case. Their babies, catch the virus. It's a big risk. I've been, I've played for Jamaica nearly 2 decades, right? And I'm struggling once or twice, but I can tell you 3 situations clear as day when I saw and when I hear this recording and seeing it on my WhatsApp, what was going on, right? We had quarrel before the game. We got being 6-0 here in England against England. Thursday before the game, we had arguments over money. The game was Saturday. We had arguments. We woken up at 11:30, calling meeting for money situation. Friday meeting again, and we had to play a match in the afternoon. We got beaten 6-0. We went to the first game I went to. Me and Robert Scarlett, little baby back in the days, Costa Rica, Jamaica team. I was like 19, 18, 19, something like that. And the day before the game, there was an argument again about per diem and the appearance money. We got beaten 9-0. You understand? Chelsea City, you remember that? 9-0 or 9-2, whatever it want to be. It was. And in club situation now, Stoke City got beaten 7-0 or 7-1 or 7-2 against Chelsea at Chelsea. Half of the team, not less than half of the team was out of contract, and we got beaten 7-0. You understand? So players should not be worried about what are arguing about money the day before a game, 2 days before. That should be sorted out a long time ago on an email. And every time these things are happening, the results for the players is never a good one. Absolutely, guys. You hit the nail right on the head. That should have been done time back again. And it actually did. May his soul rest in peace. So Captain Orisborough did a document like that. I remember when Digicel was the sponsor. I'll tell you the story now. And just like football, because obviously he had Phil Graham around him at the time, which was my farmer tiefing agent too at the time. And he had other influences in Winston from England here who knows about how club football works. And that's how it works in club football. For games, for winning football matches, say you get like £1,000 on your regular salary or regular wage per week or per month. So every game you play, you get like £1,000 for a win, 500 for a draw. That is rubber stamp. You sign that in the beginning of every season when you negotiate with the club, when the players negotiate with the chief executive. So you sign that, right? That's what the JFF should have. So anyway, this story now. So Captain Norrisborough, may his soul rest in peace, did a document when Digicel was a sponsor that we all had to get like 2,000 for US dollars for home matches, 3,000 for away games. That's appearance, right? That's not include bonuses. All in US dollars, right? But our image rights. So if we did some commercial with say Juicy Beef, I did a commercial with Juicy Beef, and Juicy Beef wanted to pay me 5,000 US dollars for that commercial. It belongs to the JFF. I said no. Clark Davis said no. Damian Stewart said no. Donovan Ricketts said no. You know why we said no? Because we were in England. We all played in England at the time, right? And we know about personal contracts. Image rights is our image rights, right? Because we said no, you know what happened to us? After that game, we got kicked out the squad. I've never played for Jamaica again. That is how my career ended. And then they called me back when Montesa come back with Theodore Whitmore, went to Antigua, and they called me and leave me on the bench. But I just come back because I love my country. If they call me, I would jump to it. You understand? I mean, I work hard here in England to achieve all that I have achieved. So playing for my country is always going to be first choice, no matter what, right? But it all depends on players have to be comfortable to play and give up good performances. I never get called back again. And that's why you hear Damian in the record was saying, don't know bad blood after this. Because you remember how much stories we heard? Roger Reed back in the days tried to talk up for money and they kick him out the national program abruptly, just like that. Every time a player talked about benefits of other players in terms of player getting what they deserve in terms of financial rewards, appearance and bonuses, the federation single them out or isolate them and kick them out of the program. And we all know that is important, especially for local players and players who want to come abroad. They need caps, and caps is important for these players to get work permits to able to play in countries, especially in Europe. But the federation hold against these guys, and they know it's important. It's like a sticker citation is just not right. It has to come to an end at some point, and I'm glad this recording come to light.